Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our monthly Ascension Angel Messages for the month of November 2025. So let's just take a moment to set an intention for the month of November. And so let's take a deep breath and just have the intention of connecting with the pink crystalline heart of Lady Gaia. And what I'm sort of seeing as an image is sort of a goddess figure, because I'm seeing sort of like three breasts, and she's wearing like a straw skirt, and not sure what goddess it might be in particular, but we're connecting with a goddess of nature and nurturance. And it also feels like, I don't know, so it reminds me of the goddess Hina, a Hawaiian goddess, I believe. This energy, this free-flowing energy that I sense. So let us just really set an intention to sort of nurture our hearts, to bring more balance in our lives in terms of how we nurture the activities, the way that we nurture our creative expression, making really space for the sacred and divine aspects of your life. So I'm getting a sort of a sense of really opening, like, so creating space for what is sacred to you, and it feels like it has to do with your creativity. It could also be, movement for the body, or expressing yourself in a language that has to do with creative movement. Now, this could come down to something like yoga, or it could be dance, or somehow some kind of exercise, but something that is enjoyable, relaxing, and rejuvenating for the body, mind, and soul. And so think of ways that maybe, and it, could be your sensuality, your sexuality. What, in terms of your physicality, in terms of movement, that kind of connects you deeper with your inner being. So this movement sort of helps to release energies, and helps you to, it nurtures you, nurtures not only your body, but it nurtures your soul. And this is something that we might not think of, you know, um, like I know we were somewhere. Um, I was at a birthday party actually for the Brazilian heritage, and they were celebrating all their birthdays for the in one day for the entire year. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, boy, they were so lively and full of energy, and they were older than me, and I was so exhausted. I had parent teacher conferences the day before, and so I was just, but the thing is that I've really neglected that part. Like I haven't been, getting out or in terms of to move my body in that way. Um, and so there's this sense that we need to keep our bodies in a from stagnating, and our bodies need support in terms of releasing things. So I mean, anything around body work, massage, um, you know, as well as dancing and moving, um, and anything you can think of that involves the body, would just really be helpful to help shift energies, because I'm sure we've all been feeling like our bodies are taking a lot lately. And I know people around me, and including myself, have just been feeling fatigue and exhaustion in our bodies, as if, we're running low on fuel. And what's so interesting is I had, in my classes, I had the kids like sort of, vocalizing and moving around, and actually being very active. I had them with tennis balls, and the thing about it was I noticed like how the energy just started to regenerate itself. It was self generating, and so we need this. We might feel like we're in a rut energetically, but we have an inexhaustible um, amount of energy that we just need to stoke the fires, so to speak. And they're writing frequently to help our energies um, stay, continue to be nurtured and balanced with what all is going on right now in the world. The energies that are moving through our planet, um, you know, for the ascension process. So we really need to engage in those frequencies, but to help them to sort of move through, um, we need to move our bodies. Right. So if you haven't, just take this moment to welcome everybody, to welcome anyone who's new to our channel. If you haven't done so, make sure that you have subscribed, select the notification bell, and of course, like and leave your comments. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And my reading availabilities are on the weekend, Saturday from 2 to 6. And there may be some possibilities during the week, but it would definitely be probably around 5-ish. So just be aware of that. If you'd like to support my channel with a donation, you can select my PayPal me link for angelic wisdom. And all of these links you'll find in the description area beneath this video. Also, if you're new to the channel, be aware of that I post weekly angel readings, angel messages. So also check those out as well. Okay. So let's take a look at the cards on the table. And as usual, the card in the center is a message from the Archangel for us to work with in this month. And then the cards on either side are from the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And the card on the left represents a card from the Major Arcana, which will highlight the overall theme or the overall energies that are influencing the big lessons that might be influencing us in this month. And the card on the right is a message from the Minor Arcana highlighting how this might be working with us on a day to day basis. So one is unconscious, and the other is conscious awareness. So let's take a deep breath and connect in with the energies for the month of November. And so they're showing me a message in which they really want you to be really grounded this month. So when they show me a tree, this is really highlighting sort of just being grounded. And also they show me a third eye, being aware, trusting your intuition. They're giving us a sense that this is also going to be extremely vulnerable energies. So the energies that are coming through are going to really sort of cause us to feel a little bit more exposed energetically. We might even feel like, that it's challenging, right? And they show me someone bent over. And so this just gives me a sense of there may be some hard hits, okay? But it's really not anything more than just that there's going to be a really heavier download of energy coming through in this month. And this is really going to help accelerate the ascension process. However, it's also going to make some of our vulnerable spots, our uncomfortable spots, or the things that, really challenge us are going to really be piqued by these energies. And that's just to help to accelerate your process of healing and an awareness. So it may it may feel a little rough, but they wrote pay. So I really feel like you're gonna get so much back from this process. So just know that stay the course, know you're doing the best you can, know you're gonna be safe, and everything that needs security or stabilizing will be stabilized, and what you no longer need, like certain problems, they're going to be pushed out of your way. But you have to be willing to trust that what you might think is not a problem, that if it becomes one and the energies are pushing that out, to let it go. It's just something that you don't need, and it might be something you didn't recognize that was actually creating a problem. So, this is really about you trusting, having faith that what is unfolding just needs to unfold. And the energies are going to go really deep so that there can be all this fresh, open, new space for your mind and your being and your light to occupy. So we're making more room for your truth. So it's a month of great transition. I just saw death, so it made me think of this, Scorpio energy. So just be prepared to be prepared to really let things go, right? I'm not aware Sorry, I just saw the word horoscope. And so you might want to just sort of check in with your horoscope or the astrology for the month of November. Um, I'm just looking, I just went to bend over and pick up my Moonology book, which I haven't even looked at this year too much. Um, I see something about new moon in Scorpio. And I think I'm seeing something about Mercury retrograde here. Oh boy. um, or maybe we're going, let's see. So maybe we're coming out of a Mercury retrograde, but I don't know why I'm seeing it here. But, well, so basically what I'm seeing is just that Mercury and Jupiter are going retrograde, and Saturn and then Mercury going direct, which means an ending of their retrograde. Um, Uranus will be in retrograde, um, moving back into Taurus for a final fling, and then connecting with Neptune, which is also in retrograde. So there's a lot of planets in retrograde. um, and yeah, we may want to really push through these energies, but we really need to be patient and go through our process. So this is, sounding very similar to the the first week of November reading that I did, well, just hours earlier this morning before doing this one. And also, it was kind of reminding me of the one that for the last week of October into November, which really spoke about like shadow flares and stuff coming up, and that we just really need to and I take it too personally, and I know that's hard, but just know that there's just this clearing up of residual things, and some things that are really not, it's like they're almost like phantom flares, these shadow flares that are coming up. They are just, it's almost like we're not in it, but we need to know that, right? So it's not like we're like the situation is something that is that's coming up, like you're reliving it and that you didn't do what you needed to do. But right now, it's just sort of like these phantoms, experiences from the past, or these shadow phantoms are coming up. And they're going to be a little bit challenging, but if we don't react to them, we won't have to engage that process or those things again. But what we really need to do is really practice just letting go and not engaging everything. We don't have to, everything that comes up, we need to really use our discernment in this month of November, in the sense that we have to know, with the ask, if what is the appropriate response from me at this time to this situation, and really tune into your guidance, your intuition about it. If your intuition gives you a sense that just let it go, let it let it go, and you keep going, right? Then do that. If your guidance really is giving you a sense um, to rest when you feel like you need to be just busy doing, you need to tackle certain things, and it's maybe it's something that's really important, and then your guidance is saying rest, trust that, do it. Don't make don't make excuses to people. Just say, my guidance is just telling me that I need to rest at this time. Um, so when we tune in, we have to be open to the answers we receive, and we have to be willing to honor that process that we've been asked to do. So just really don't react. Don't get it like all like, oh my God, this is all like I just can't take it anymore. This is happening and I thought I was done with this. No, tune in. See what your call is in this situation. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with for this month. Okay, and it's Archangel Roquiel. And Archangel Roquiel is really, he's actually a seraphim. So his energy is very, very high. The seraphim are 12th dimensional. But Archangel Roquiel is working with the earth and grounding the stellar energies and light codes into the earth, okay, into hollow earth. So the card says, enter higher planetary service, be a blazing light. Know that this time, as you are, as the energies are accelerating, your process is accelerating. This means that you are being cleared, you're releasing so that you're cleared to hold more light codes and more energy and higher frequencies that you're now going to be able to bring into the earth to help with the um, laying the foundations for the golden future. So, you know, it's twofold. Your process is also of planetary service, your frequency, and so what you may be healing for on one account, it might be personal things that you need to let go of, but at the same time, it really for most of us it might be more that you are processing, meaning your healing is taking place on the level of the planet, so that you might be processing energies and old patterns for the entire planet, so that the planet and individuals can move up in their frequency. So if you like lately, I haven't had this happen in such a long time. I think it was like 2009 was the last time I had these experiences, and it's been a little bit troubling. But I started picking up people's energy again, and I was like, gosh, I thought we worked this out, because um, my healing teacher Kim Sear, I think I've mentioned her before, and she's currently doing uh, YouTube healings on Sundays at 7 p.m. On her YouTube channel, Kim Sear. I think that link, I put it in the description area beneath this video as well. But she helped us with this, and I haven't had an issue with it since. And also, she said, just tell your angels, and your guide, that you don't want to experience it through your body, but through your intuition, so that you can do the service work. But I noticed recently that I've been really, channeling energy, other people's physical pain, and so I was just sort of like, what's going on with this? And so again, I realized, okay, in this moment, that it's just not about me, right? Because at first I was like thinking I was having all these issues, but then I realized, it's service, planetary service. So just be aware that if you're going through some unusual symptoms, that you're doing that work, planetary service, and that it will clear out, but it might accelerate um, before it, it's like before it clears. But I feel like that they're going to be trying to move that process along, so that we're not all just taking the hit. However, doing that, anything that can help you in terms of moving your body will help your body to be more responsive, they say, to the work, meaning that your body won't, you will not even really notice it in your body if you accelerate the care of your body by accelerating activity, right? So it's sort of like when you exercise a lot, your body doesn't take on as much physical stress. And so that's basically where we all are. All right, let's take a look at this card. So the Hermit card will indicate that we all really need more me time, right? So that means you need that you're really doing a lot of work, and some of you might be doing things when you're at night, right, while you're sleeping as well. So make sure you make space for yourself, space to sort of just meditate, to clear your energy. So that's going to also be a part of this body work. And they're writing to clear your body. So call in, those higher frequencies that will help your body, but just doing that is not going to help alone. And they're really correcting me because I've been doing that, like, calling in the source violet flame, okay? Or the pure white ascension flame of Atlantis for purification. Calling in the highest frequency of gold, the golden Christ light, or the Christ light. These are things that you can do to help, clear your energy, and Reiki or anything else, right? There's just so many energy work that you can do. But making sure you do that regularly, cutting cords, and always remembering whenever you do healing work to fill in your aura and your in any place where cords were cut. Just filling in your aura and your body with gold light, just all of it, so that the universe doesn't fill it in with something else that you unconsciously are not aware that you're attracting to yourself, right? So make sure that you do that. Um, Another thing that I've been doing is I do daily card draws, and I have tons of decks, but I use an oracle and a tarot deck, and I kind of basically I ask, what do I need to be aware of, right? Or I might say, what am I feeling? And then what do I need to be aware of around those feelings, so that I can pay attention to what's going on in my emotional life. And that could just be all kinds of things. I mean, it doesn't have to be emotion, but it could be the physical too. Like, um, but in general, that's a question that I ask, so that it helps me to really stay connected to what I'm experiencing, and what I need to be aware of in terms of how those energies might play out or affect me, so that I can make some decisions. It might reveal lessons that I'm going through, right? But it will help me to know how I need to express myself, how I need to sort of just, I don't want to say it this way, but I'm just going to say it because it seems the easiest way to say it. What to be on guard for. And not so much about what's going on around me, but what can go on within me, right? um, need to be on guard for if, something within me might be easily triggered and spill out onto other people, that kind of thing. All right, let's take a look at the card for. So we have here the the day-to-day awareness, the King of Water. Extremely need to be extremely compassionate with yourself and everyone else. This is really the theme of the month. To seek understanding. To seek understanding, and without expecting anything in return, without expecting or wanting others to be different, but just understanding them in the way that you understand or trying to understand yourself. That's the level of compassion that we need to initiate in order to allow these energies to, well, first of all, to accelerate our ascension healing. Just know that your soul is picking up on a lot and feeling a lot as the frequency on the planet rises now. It is not going to be easy for any of us to ignore anything that is occurring. What we're creating now, we're feeling it deeply. We're feeling it in a very heavy way. And it's happening so that we can decide when we've had enough of judging each other, persecuting one another, holding each other, it's sort of like a crucifixion, really. We just keep crucifying each other for all being in so much pain due to the fall and separation from source. And what we really are being called to do is to know that we were never ever separated from source, that the peace and inner alignment that we're so yearning for, that we think will heal everything, and it can, and it truly can. However, the peace that we're looking for is this total acceptance of ourselves, because you can't have peace until you find that for yourself, until you return to that under awareness and understanding, because that's what feeling connected to source is. As long as we are looking at ourselves with lack, and when we look at our lives, we're looking at ourselves. Whenever we look around us, we're looking at ourselves. And wherever we see lack or separation, we're going to always feel pain and a deep yearning that is like, it's sour, it's sore, soreness, it's, you know what I mean? And the only peace that can restore that, restore us to oneness, is total acceptance of ourselves. This is what it was meant when Jesus said to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? That to love the Lord thy God with all mind, heart, soul. The second is like unto the first. And that these were the only two commandments, that they summed up all the laws. And every religion and every one of us remembers a version of this. We know that love is the key. We know that love is the answer. None of us has forgotten it. It is not something that none of us on the planet does not believe. We know love is the answer. However, we can't love ourselves deeply, profoundly, and fully enough to be at peace with the answer and to take action on the answer. To take action on the answer because it's this love, this connection to love in this way, and this understanding is so painfully buried deep beneath the separation. And the lack of awareness of source. And that's just not even the best way to say it, but you know where I'm going with it. That's what's keeping us stuck and comfortable and fearful of treading outside of our pain and suffering, our fear, because we're afraid that we might discover that love isn't good enough, because deep down we think that we who are love, made from love, are not worthy. And so we got to feel everything now until we give that up. We got to give up that lie, and then all the other lies will go away with it. And what we'll be left with is seeing ourselves as good enough, and everyone else, despite whether we agree with them or not, whether they are different from us or not. And they're going to be different from us, and they're going to disagree with us. But we'll have a kind of unity that honors what God created, which is diversity, but also compassion. Compassion for diversity. That's when we'll find peace, because your peace is just as valuable as anyone else's. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have an extraordinary, beautiful month moving forward and healing together. God bless you.